Welcome to Stonewatch, and today we're talking about 2014's Knights of Badassdom. And if you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button and click on that bell so you can notify if your future videos. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And yes, I was scrolling through my Facebook feed the other day, and a buddy of mine posted about a movie called Knights of Badassdom from 2014. Now, I've never heard of this movie, but looking at the cast, it's on the poster, it did strike my interest, I have to say. I mean, it's got Steve Zahn on there from like The Thing That You Do, Saving Silverman, and Sahara with Matthew McConaughey, Peter Dinklage from the Game of Thrones, Elf, and X-Men: A Day of Future Past, and Summer Glau from the Terminator, the Sarah Chronicle show. Now, that's pretty much the only thing that I've actually seen her in myself personally, so I can't really speak about like the Serenity and the Firefly, because I haven't watched any of those, so I can't really say if those were any good. But I did like her in the Terminator show. You know, I thought it was pretty damn good, and I saw her in this. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So, and I never heard of this movie, so I figured, oh, I'll go check out the trailer and see what it's all about, right? So I went to YouTube, I checked out the trailer. It seemed it was kind of funny. Now, the trailer did not give me the horror movie type vibes, because this movie turned out to be an American horror comedy movie, kind of like the Evil Dead and the scary movies from back in the day. Now, had I known this was a horror movie, I probably would not have watched it, because I'm not a big fan of horror movies, and I don't care if they're comedies or whatever. I mean, I've seen all the Friday the 13th and the Nightmare on Elm Street movies growing up and stuff like that, and they're just not my thing, okay? And if I'd have known this was a horror movie up front, I probably would not have watched this movie. I was going by my friend's recommendation. The trailer looked like it was funny. I thought it was more like a Fanboys or Trekkie movie, the way it looked like in the trailers to me. So when I was watching this and like the first like horror element came into play, I'm like, whoa, okay, I did not expect that to see that coming, but I didn't want to like stop the movie and go double check on Wikipedia and stuff like that. I go, I'll just rough this out. How bad can it be? I mean, there were some spots in this movie that was kind of funny, and it seemed like it was going somewhere else. But then when the horror movie actually, part of it actually still really started kicking in, I'm going, oh, it's one of them type movies. So, and I did write it out. You have to give me credit, because, like, again, it's not my favorite kind of movie, but I did stick it out to the very end, and I'm kind of wish, I don't know, that's like an hour and a half I'm not going to get back. Knights of Badassdom is a 2014 American comedy horror film directed by Joe Lynch and written by Kevin Dreyfuss and Matt Wall. The basic plot of the movie is this. In a forest, a group of friends are participating in a LARP, a live-action role-playing game, when their activities is brought to an end by abusive paintballers. Their friend Joe Revitt, a slacker, aspiring rock star, and fan of metal music, is dumped by his girlfriend Beth. Joe's friend Eric and Hung bring him unwillingly to a fantasy LARP event to cheer him up. The game master, Ronnie Woke, who was once humiliated by Joe as a result of an embarrassing Dungeons & Dragons incident, demands that Eric cast an advanced regeneration spell to allow Joe into the game. Eric recites a random passage from an old book, aka Grimlore, he ordered online to allow Joe into the game. Unwillingly, he summons a succubus, which resembles Beth, who then goes on a killing spree of the other LARP attendees. Starring in this movie have Ryan Kwanten, Steve Zahn, Summer Glau, Margarita Levieva, Jimmi Simpson, and Peter Dinklage, just to name a few. Now, currently, this movie is sitting a Rotten Tomatoes score of 63%. Its last top critic was on October of 2020. She didn't like it. Now, on the audience side, it's a little bit different. We're sitting with a score of 37%, and its last audience review, except for my video right now, was September 18th of 2021, last week, and he loved it. Me, not so much. Now, I looked, and I could not find the production budget for this movie, so I have no idea how much it cost to make this movie, but it really couldn't have been all that much, except for paying, like, the actor's salary, right? I mean, but it made a whopping $124,000 total domestically. It never got a worldwide release. So, and it's not really shocking, because I'm sorry, this movie was not all that good. I mean, I hope they didn't spend a lot of money for this movie. I really, really, really do. So now in this day and age where we have the Snyder Cut and a petition going around trying to get the New Mutant trilogy off the ground, there's one going around also for the director's cut for Knights of Badassdom. I didn't really check that deeply into it. I don't care how far along they are on getting it. So far, what I've read, if they do get it, it's going to be more of a hardcore horror-like type movie stuff added to it or whatnot. So I'm definitely not interested in that. So I don't know, if you want to go check it out, I'll put a link down in the description down below. But other than that, I'm not pushing for it whatsoever because, again, this movie wasn't really all that good and it didn't make any money. So I really can't see any studio going anywhere near a director's cut because that's just going to cost money that they're not going to get back. I don't know, man. I don't want to sit here and totally bash the movie over and over and over again because, again, it's not my type of movie, so I probably wasn't going to like it no matter what. So if you're a type of person that likes these kind of movies, you might actually like this movie. I mean, there were parts in this movie I did find funny, just parts, and like in the horror element was kind of interesting a little bit. I mean, I don't know, man. It wasn't really for me. So have you ever watched the movie Knights of Badassdom? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? I mean, where does this rank with you with all the other horror comedy movies that's out there? You know, the Evil Dead, Army of the Darkness. You know what I'm saying? Let me know in the comments down below. Again, this movie was not my type of movie. I'm kind of shocked I actually stuck it out, to be quite honest with you. So let me know what you think in the comments down below.